Well, I did. I thought I was doing a video, but I guess I just did what I thought was a video and talked to nothing. And I'm like kind of upset about it because I thought it was pretty good for my heart video, but now it's hard for me to go ahead and get back to that place, So that makes it kind of tough. But I wanted to go ahead and just let everybody know that I am doing pretty well right now. I am dashing again, and I started dashing last week, and I made almost $500 for the first week back in 6 days. I took Sunday off even though it was busy, supposedly, I took it off because my cousin was in town, and I just kind of wanted to see her. So she, we got to talking and everything like that. It was great. So I'm kind of glad I took Sunday off. So, but today, I've only had 3 deliveries. I made $15 so far. But I had an order for one of my neighbors up the street, and good thing I was going to leave it at the door, but there's a dead zone in my neighborhood, and it's right by my house, and apparently where this woman lives, the same dead zone. So I couldn't, verify the order at the residence. So I was going to knock on the door because it got stuck on the map. It wouldn't go to the other screen after that, and I tried to restart the phone, all that kind of stuff, and it still did the same thing. So I had to go to up the street by the mailboxes, and that's where we get a signal, and go ahead and verify the order was delivered, everything like that. So I knocked on her door, and she didn't come to the door right away. So I was going to leave the order there, and she did come to the door, but she had a dog. I heard the dog yapping in the background. I'm like, should I leave I was like kind of concerned about the dog, but it didn't sound like a dangerous dog or anything like that. It was a bigger dog, but it was like a medium-sized dog, I should say. And so she yapping a little bit. And he comes right to the door. He's going right for that popcorn. It was popcorn. It was just a bag of popcorn. That was it. But he went right for that popcorn. And I was quick enough. I just went right under that and grabbed that bag. And some people would have been afraid because it's a dog. But I knew that dog wasn't a dangerous dog. I was like, that's not a dog that bites. So I was like, no, you're not getting the dog. You're getting the popcorn, doggy. But he almost got that popcorn. If I had been quick enough, he would have got that popcorn. And the popcorn would have been everywhere. So I'm glad. Thank you. That she answers the door, and I grab the popcorn just in time to avoid getting her dog getting the popcorn. Because I had not been there, and I had dropped it off the door. I didn't know what the delivery instructions were. So if I had just dropped it off at the door, the dog would have got that popcorn for sure. And maybe it wouldn't come because they didn't see a person there, but it was a friendly dog. I could tell it was a friendly dog. It's not going to bite me. I had somebody else that had a big dog, and it came out at the door, and I just had that momentary like that. But I was like, I was like, oh no, it's not a dangerous dog. I can tell the kind of dogs that are going to bite you kind of dogs. It wasn't one, so it was just a playful kind of want to lick your face kind of dog. That's the kind of dog it was. I'm not a big dog person. I love cats mostly, but dogs seem to always take to me and love me. So I've never been attacked by a dog, and every time I've been around dogs, they've always been very fascinated by me for some reason, and so I enjoy their company. But I just don't want to have one because it's just too much responsibility. People with dogs, is a big giant irresponsibility. It's like having a child, and having a cat is in a way too, but they're more independent. They don't really they can just be aloof. They can just sort of sit there and watch you, or get in your lap or whatever. But dogs want attention. Oh yeah, they love that. But it's just not my programming to really want to seek out and have a dog. So but having a cat, I want to get another cat because we lost one of our beautiful kitties, and we only had 2, and I want to replace him with her with another kitty. But my mom says she's older now, and she doesn't want to go through all the raising the cat. I know raising a cat is kind of tough. You do get the furniture, but I want to keep the cat downstairs and make sure I'll tend to the box. I'll do all that kind of stuff for the cat and raise that kitty myself. So because the other cat is attached to her, he's a 1-person cat. He'll let me he'll let you pet him and everything like that, but he's definitely a 1-person cat. He has who are okay, hi. But he was, but her, she's there watching her or sitting in her lap or following her everywhere she goes. So that's how it is with him. And I want a cat that does that to me. Make me happy, because, it's like, I know I love the fact that the cat, loves her, I also want a cat that, wants to be attached to me and me as the person of care. So, But the DoorDashing thing is going well. I'm so happy to be back. I love DoorDashing. I think it's wonderful. I like the fact they gave me platinum status. Almost right the second day, I got platinum status again. And I'm thrilled. I haven't made any mistakes. I keep extra straws in my car from different places, and I just have like a stockpile of not too many, not like a ton of them, but I forgot if somebody's straw in a drink order. So I was like, oh, good, there's a straw in my glove box. That's why I take them, just to go ahead and make sure I have an extra in case I forgot one. And I forgot the straw. So that's about the only thing I've forgotten so far. And I managed to have a straw in a nice wrapped straw, of course, in my glove box in a Ziploc bag. So yay. That's a smart idea. Just grab a couple straws, here and there, and that way you have it extra if you do forget a straw, I think about stuff like that because I'm a forgetful person sometimes. I have to double and triple check myself sometimes, I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot. I lose my phone constantly. So I'm like, I'll put my phone down somewhere. I have no idea where I put it. And I'm looking I have to go to the computer, turn it on, and then because I'll have turned it off or whatever. I'll go turn on the computer and say, find phone. And then I have to follow around the house where I left the phone. What room did I leave the phone in? Every day, multiple times. I can't seem to train myself to just leave it in one spot like my mom says to do. But I just have it with me. I'm like, oh, I'll set it down here. And I don't think about where I left it. I'm really, really bad about that. So nobody's perfect. So that's my main issue is forgetting where I left stuff. So I had a passionate, I was talking about some people who, did me wrong in Las Vegas and I wanted to, explain what my situation was, everything like that. I got, just described it to the T. So what I'll do is I'll do it again. I guess, should I do it again? I don't know. I'm not going to be a bitter. This is not my bitter video. So I'll go ahead and maybe, I was going to put that on YouTube immediately. I was like, oh, I got to go ahead and put that on YouTube. And I went to my phone or my camera, my DJI Action 5 Pro, and I went to the camera and it wasn't there. I'm like, I wasn't recording that. Damn. But it was about two individuals who are really, truly bad people and belong in jail, that I would like to, tell people about. And it's not because I'm bitter, but I guess I'm a little bitter. It's because I'm bitter. No, I'm bitter. I'm always going to be bitter. So, that's the way it is. When somebody does you wrong and goes out of their way to do you wrong and has no reason to do you wrong and absolutely just destroys you and then does you wrong some more and keeps on coming back like a parasite, or no, I wouldn't say parasite. I would say more like what keeps coming back and you want it to leave. A cockroach? I don't know. That's me. You should not dehumanize people, so I won't do that. But they're just scumbags, okay? Scumbags. And the thing is, I don't want to feel embarrassed, intimidated, or I shouldn't be angry about what happened to me. I don't want to feel like it's going to be felt like that. I should say something about this awful, horrible people who destroyed my life in Las Vegas, who went out of their way to try to steal my identity and basically squatted in my home without paying rent until they were evicted from my home. I should be able to say something about that. And so therefore I do. That's all. And so don't make it it's not my whole identity, but I will say occasionally that what those people did to me, and it's just the way I am, that's my part of healing.